right, moving on to the second really big expose that I have for you. This is taken from a link that was shared to me. The link name is the real geodiarmani.com. Okay, I put the link below in the description. And the title of the article is A Day in the Life of a Prisoner in the UAE. Now, like I tell you, that I'm a reporter. I share with you information that I get, which is not shared on the local media, because obviously for reasons, the ministry controls everything. It's run by a ruler, so obviously they have to follow the rules of the country. So only positive stuff about the country is shared. The real news is normally kept hidden, and once people leave a country, then online they can publish anywhere, and that is where it goes globally. In today's day and age of social media and the internet, you can't keep anything hidden. So this particular article was shared to me by a person who has been to jail, and he shared with me some of his experiences, and then he shared this link also with me, which I've put down in the description, just so that you know that I'm not putting anything from my own pocket. So I'm reading out to you what he has shared in this link, in case it is blocked or banned in your particular country. So this is what he says: A day in the life of a prisoner in the UAE. The following report was written by a friend who has now left Dubai. It gives an insight into how the prison and judicial system is run. Okay, and I'll be giving you my thoughts in between. First, let me tell you what to expect. The police stations, they are way too crowded at the moment. You'll not get a bed. You'll be lucky to get a blanket. You'll also be lucky to get a bed space with others. In Murakabat, which is in Dubai, okay, there are two huge square units, each with 8 to 10 cells. 8 to 10 cells with two sides. There's a front wall, there's a TV and a toilet shower block. There is no way you can go outside. You're inside 24/7, very little natural sunlight. Tensions run high and there are regular fights. In other police stations, there are corridors with cells both the sides. The worst is Al Rafa, which is once again in Dubai. That is heavily crazy crowded. There are 8 to 10 guys in each cell, 2 bunk beds per cell. And if everyone sleeps in the corridor on the concrete floor, there is a small exercise yard, marble tables, also people sleeping. There's no TV, but you do have access to telephone 24/7. And mind you, Sharjah is worse. Ajman is even more worse. The worst of the worst is Ras Al Khaimah and Al Quwain. It's terrible. And there is also one prison which is right in the middle of the desert. This is rumors, urban legends. So there's no way to confirm, because once you enter that prison, you're finished. Your life is over. They keep the most dangerous criminals who are a threat to UAE in that prison. And rumor has it that it is right in the middle of the desert. So even if you escape, you will die. So there's no way in or out, apart from a helicopter, or if someone drives you there. The location nobody knows. And it seems once you are put in there, you're finished. Your life is over. So that, I don't know how far that's true, but there are many people who have made powerful enemies are put there. Now, next what he says, in Rashida once again in Dubai, you'll need to hope to get taken downstairs straight ahead as you go in. You'll hope for this. Why? Because the one upstairs or on the right is known for drug abuses, and drug abuse among locals is horrendous. I saw one guy murdered there in a fight over who ran the canteen. And if you run the canteen, it's a very profitable business. And of sexual abuse, especially the Far Eastern Chinese or Filipino prisoners, is horrendous. The cries of a Chinese guy being raped again and again will stay with me for many years. Now, this is what was written as per the article. There are, however, plasma TVs with 2 decoders, a PlayStation 3, which is there, donated by a British guy who was on the Interpol's wanted list. He had donated this. Because of the venue, there are a lot of locals in Rashida than others. Bird Dubai has been just reopened after a refurbishment. There's no TV, limited phone access, and there's a large open courtyard. Also, just to share with you one bit of information, it seems that in some of the prisons, people have been put there without any trial. I know of one person who met another guy. he told me that he met this gentleman who has been in jail for more than 30 plus years, no trial, and he has just been there, and he gave up. He just gave up trying. He's saying, I don't even know how the outside world looks like. He has not heard of a cell phone. He doesn't know what that is. So for him, he just feels UAE is still a desert. So, this is what he has said. And it seems in some of the police stations, there are a lot of people who have not paid, they've not been able to pay back the checks or the credit cards or whatever. They are put in jail over there. In fact, one of my Filipino girlfriends was put in jail. However, her experience was not that bad, but she said it was a very scary experience. She didn't pay 2 of her credit cards. She was put there for a month, and after that, because of the duration, the credit cards were cancelled. Because every day it seems that you stay in jail, it's like you're paid 100 dirham salary or something. And if you have a credit card, whatever the amount is, they put you in a limited number of days, and then it's considered paid off. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm just telling you whatever little bit that I do know. Back to the letter, back to the article. He says, as I stated before, all the police stations are crazily overcrowded. There are a lot of fights fights are a common occurrence between Arabs. I, as a Brit, was never touched. The prisoners are responsible for the cleanliness of their own cell block. Usually a foreman, himself a prisoner, orders the cleaning to be done on a daily basis. By the way, I was put in jail 20 years ago, 15 years ago. And the reason I was put in jail is because I pressed the horn. I was driving a Lexus RX 330. There was a guy in front of me, a car that had parked in the middle of the bloody road. I was on the slow lane, and I was like, what the fuck, man, just move, And he had parked the car and he was talking to somebody, and I pressed the horn. Because I pressed the horn, he, put his hand out and said, what? And I was like, who the fuck, it's like, and I was a hot-blooded guy those days. So because I did that, and I think he got pretty offended, he came out of the car, and immediately coming out of the car, he opened my door and he's like, first he looked at you and this and that, something in Arabic, and then he said, you India? I said, you local? Local, that's, obviously, I'm local. So I told him I'm international. He got so angry because of that. He went to his number plate in his car, which was parked in front of me, started hammering where the number plate was. I'm local, he shouted, I'm local. The number plate was some 6666 something. So I just fucking ignored. I said, whatever the fuck, and because I use the word fuck, and I drove off. I guess he took my number plate. I drove off and I went back to my office. This was in the evening. Before I knew it, I got a call on my cell phone. And there was an Arab guy on the other end of it. He said, you Loai? They don't say Loai, they say Loai. I said, yes, come police station, in Sharjah. And I was like, oh fuck. I was like, what the fuck? Just come, tal. And I was like, what the fuck did I do? And then I remembered, fuck, is it for the same incident? And before I knew, those days I was close to the owner of the company. I told him, they called me to the police station. He said, okay, not to worry, I'll send the PRO with you. So yeah, as soon as I went there, I wore a suit and everything. Immediately, I was called where the inspector was. And as soon as I went in, let's say the inspector, and next to that was one guy well dressed. I tried to recognize, and then I just, oh shit, he's the same guy. And he had with him 2 phones, and he was sitting there well dressed. And he says, good luck, means he was pointing at me and talking about. So then it was in Sharjah. This is near the, this is the police station near the, if in Sharjah, you're talking of the General Post Office. From there straight, when you go to the roundabout, that is now a mobile roundabout where all mobile phone shops are there. Before it was near the church. Okay, I can't get the name right now, but it is from the General Post Office. If you're moving towards Safest Way used to be there, the church used to be there, and from there, if you go straight, you'll get all the restaurants. Okay, I'm sorry, I can't remember the roads. It has been like 2-3 years now. Not been there. Okay. So anyway, so this is the police station between the General Post Office and the Safest Way roundabout. Okay. So it's there. So this Sudanese guy, he told me, so you India? I said, I'm Indian. India Kachara. I'm not exaggerating. These exact words. He said, India Kachara. This local. He pointed at the guy. This local. You India. You Kachara. I said, okay. Tum usko marega? Tum kya karega? Means, let him, what will you do? And then he asked me for my passport, which that guy had bought. He took my, ID, and he put me in the lockup. There's a lockup there. The PRO, I was talking, he put me in lockup. In the lockup, I could see many people, Bangladeshi, Malayalis, Indians, few Arabs sitting there. There was a place here, like if you are, once you enter, there is one policeman sitting here, reading the newspaper, he's sitting here with the desk. Then there is the lockup with the bars, okay? So once you enter there, the left-hand side was this, I think he was a Bangladeshi guy with a beard. He was teaching the Quran, reading the Quran, and 4, 5, 6 guys were listening to him, seated on the floor. You can't, there's no other place to sit, seated on the floor. And then the other side, there were guys lying down. They're just lying down there. And the next, there's a small little wall, and there was a toilet or something there. And that was it. It was just a big room. And I was like, oh, fuck. My heart came in my mouth. I was like, I'm fucked. I thought I was going to be in the jail. So one of them offered me a chair. There was a chair there. Not chair. I can't recollect. I think it was like a cemented slab. So there was empty. He said, beto. So the policeman and me sat there. Rest, everyone was seated on the floor. So I sat there. I was like, fuck, what am I going to do? And I'll tell you, I think I was there for 45 minutes. How do I remember the time? I think I was looking at my watch. He took my watch. So I waited there. There was a clock. I can't remember because it's 12 years, man. So after 45 minutes or so, then I came out. And after I came out, job. And he told me to go with another guy. I was like just stunned, shocked. I was like meek as a sheep. I went there and the inspector, kya karega? So I told him, the only thing I knew was sorry. I kept saying sorry. I went to that guy, immediately held his hands. Sorry, please. I told him sorry like this. I took his hand, I kissed his hand. Then he said, well, okay. Then the inspector asked him what to do. He said, Anam Marif. Marif means I don't know, just whatever. So he told bye-bye and he went. And then I joined my hands and I kept begging and pleading the inspector, please. Finally, the inspector said, Acha, Tum, India, Kachara. I said, yes, Kachara. He said, Tum local ko kuch bola? No, local like this. I told him, okay. He started laughing. He gave my this thing. And next time, tum usko koi bhi local ko kuch horn bhi khalas. He said, okay. And I went outside and there was my PRO waiting outside. It just rattled me and, it kind of dawned on me. I was a hothead those days as a bodybuilder. I wanted to be rich and all that. But that taught me a lesson that this is not my fucking country. You can't do any fucking shit, especially to locals and especially who are connected. And after that, I was like, fuck this. No fucking way. So, this is a real life incident for those of you who keep saying, you've been to jail and all that. Well, yes, I was put in jail for honking, just pressing the horn on a local. And that made me go to jail. So, yeah. So, anyway, and also keep in mind, if an Emirati local, especially a female, if they put an allegation on you, even without evidence, and if they put the allegation, you're fucked. In the UAE, I don't know, as far as I know, the entire Middle East, if you're an expatriate, you're guilty until proven innocent. So it's not you're innocent until proven guilty, you're guilty until proven innocent, especially if an Emirati local puts a case on you or even a complaint, there are people who have been deported for taking a photograph, talking about them, gossiping about them. So, lately there was a news where a person sent an email with the word rude, R-U-D, rude, which was put in Arabic. In Arabic, you can translate it in any way. So a person got jailed because of this. There have been cases where an Australian woman, I remember this very clearly when I was in Dubai, she took a photograph of a car that was parked on a handicap parking in the wrong way. It took like 2-3 car spaces. So he just took a photograph and put it on social media and see, this is how some people disrespect the law. The person of the car turned out to be an Arab Emirati woman, and she filed a police case for defamation. Now, the funny thing is she has broken the law by parking in the wrong way. For her, nothing. But for this lady, well, she was not only put in jail, she was fined and she was deported, Australian woman. There was also this case where this Sri Lankan boy, I think he put on a parody of the gangs of Satwa, just a comedy skit with him and his friends, just showing that someone who throws their slipper, as a weapon, like this was the gang. It was supposed to be a comedy skit. I'll put the link below. He was jailed in a federal fucking prison, but because he had an American passport, he was released. Others, he was fucked, and he tried to sue the government, which was laughable anyway. But his life got totally destroyed because of that incident. And last but not the least, you even have cases whereby if a girl is raped and she's an expat, and if you're raped by an Arab Muslim or you're raped by an Arab Emirati, you as a female, you're jailed because as per Sharia law, because per Sharia law, you tempted the Muslim, you tempted the man. The Muslim is pure of heart, so he reacted based on his thing, and you will be jailed for committing adultery. And the only way you can be free as per their Sharia law, which I'm giving you, I'll put the link below. It's not from my pocket. And you'll say, oh, Lloyd, this is the wrong translation Sharia law. I'm giving you actual incidents, so you can prove it to me that this incident is false, which is actually documented in the paper. Australian woman who was raped after a drink was spiked by Arab Muslims. So they raped her. They said as per Sharia law, she tempted them. And the only way she could be free is if they had 4 Arab Muslim witnesses who were present there to prove, to say that we saw her and she was forced. Only then she's innocent. So these are the cases. In fact, another last case was where a young boy, an Indian, he recorded a Arab guy hitting a driver. Maybe the Indian guy or whatever was driving recklessly. So the guy was not hitting him. He was just taking his nai or whatever they call it on the black little thing on the head, which Arabs have. He was just hitting him with that. And I put a video when I was based in UAE. Obviously, I couldn't bash the Arab guy those days. So I put up a video stating that, he didn't hit him violently. He didn't hit him violently. Although, it's, if you actually look at it, I wanted to say that, maybe the guy drove bad or whatever. However, if you had reversed, this is what I didn't say, and I couldn't say in those days. If you had reversed the roles, that is an Arab local driving rash and an Indian guy, the Indian guy can't do anything. But because an Arab guy is a local, he could do something. So, okay, he didn't hit him. He just tried to punish him or whatever. But the part which is shocking is the boy who recorded this on video. This was the first ever case of someone recording and uploading it on social media. The boy's, the son of the man who was actually hitting him, he reported to the police for defamation, and the boy who recorded this got jailed, got fined, and then eventually when the charges were dropped, the boy was set free, but I think they deported him or they left the country. However, the man who hit that driver, I spoke to one of his friends. He said he's a nice guy, he's very cool, calm, composed. The driver drove very rash, and that is why he got, he parked the car and shouted at him. But the sad fact is that Emirati also lost his job. So, it was a tragedy for everyone. But the biggest tragedy was for the guy. So coming to the 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 point that I'm trying to make is, when you are an expat in a Arab local country, an Arab country, there are no rules that support expats. The rules only support the Emiratis, or sorry, the local citizens. So don't try to pick up an argument or fight with the citizens of the country. You will always lose, especially with Muslims, especially with Arabs, especially with the Sharia law. Because, like my friend who was a doctor, he had a Pajero. A guy from back hit him, banged into him. He was waiting at the red light, so he must have not seen the red light. So he called the police. When they called the police, obviously, it is him at fault. But when they went to the police station, the police inspector said, "This is Ras Al Khaimah, mind you. Remember, I told you it's one of the worst places." Ras Al Khaimah police said, "It's my friend's fault." My friend said, "I'm in the front. He hit me from back. How is it my fault?" He said, "He's saying I swear on Quran that he hit me." He's saying, "Baba, he Muslim. If he swear Quran, finish. You want to make court case, you make court case. But he Muslim. Quran." So he said, "Wallahi, Allah, this and Quran." He couldn't do anything. And my friend, he being Hindu, he said, "I didn't want any complications. I accepted it as my fault, even though it was not my fault." And that's it. So there are many more incidents like this. Many more incidents. I'm not saying Emiratis are bad. I'm not saying citizens are bad. But what I'm trying to make you understand is the law supports the citizen. And when it's not your country, remember, and you don't have contacts and connections, better not to pick up a fight. Okay, so back to the article where it says, in most police stations, you can order, that is food and deliveries from outside, usually once or twice a week. But be prepared to pay double because there are a lot of bribes to be paid. There's also a canteen shop that sells toiletries. Be prepared to rip off again because obviously they need to make their money. Central jail. Now this is the big one. This is just the in or out jail where you get sentenced for 6 months or less. The true central jail for 6 months plus is different. So if you're less than 6 months, it's in and out. But if you're more than 6 months, it's a very different ballgame. You arrive handcuffed in a bus with steel windows, no emergency exits. You're taken into a holding cell. We are split into one, and for more than 6 months are given their uniforms, all white with stripes that indicate the time of sentence. Green or blue is less than a year. Yellow is 1 to 5 years. Red is 5 years plus. After central jail, guys are taken to the back of the bus, where you get to the back of the bus and are taken out to the jail, which is the other side of the complex. You go past the juveniles and past the women's jail, and you're taken out, and then your names are checked, your cuffs are removed, and then you get into your uniform and bedding. At the moment, they give you 2 blankets, one to sleep on, one to cover. If you're lucky, you get a pillow too. This is more like those American movies. Okay. These have been washed, but they are not new. You cannot wear anything that isn't white. Your wallet and all your money over 300 dirhams is put in a safe. You can request for cash from your stash on a weekly basis, 300 dirhams max. That's roughly, I think, $80 or $90. Okay. You get strip searched by the guards, who some of them seem to enjoy their job, because many of them are gay over there. And you get taken to another holding area, or amber dorm as it is called. There are 8 amber dorms. Each is a large common area with 2 dorms off on the side. Each dorm has 96 bunks in sleeping with 192 people. So there are just under 400 beds. Each dorm has 96 bunks, okay, say 100, with 192 people. So there are 400 beds. Okay. Problem is there are 800 guys in each amber. So you sleep on the floor in the common area. If your hair is pinched, you have to get it shaved either by the prison barber or by the inmates for a fee. Clippers and shavers are both on sale. Don't expect Vidal Sassoon special. It's overdone under a minute. Once you have your bed in the allotted amber, then you're ready for a day as a life of a prisoner. Okay. 5 a.m. is breakfast, usually bread and boiled egg or yogurt or cheese. 6:30 if you're going to go to the court, up your way. If not, nothing else happens until 8 a.m. where you get to see the officers if you have a good reason. For example, you have to get your passport, or if you have to meet the police inspector or something, you have to put your name on the list. There are a list of travel agents too. No browsing allowed, one-way ticket. The phones are in the ambers, which are open for 3 hours in the morning and 4 to 5 in the afternoon. The morning time is the only time when you will get anything official done. You also get a chance twice a week to go to the shop outside area. The prices are reasonable, but there's a limit on how much you can buy. 3 packets of cigarette, for example, maximum. If you're a non-smoker, you can buy your share and sell them later to desperate smokers. I was getting 30 to 50 dirham per pack. They also sell headphones, radios, and batteries. Lunch is 11 a.m., which consists of rice, vegetable, meat, and chicken. Little bit of lettuce, some fruit juice, and fruit drink. Bear in mind there are 800 mouths to feed, so this will take a long time, especially in the canteen area, which takes only a seating capacity of 90 people. Food is given in a metal tray. There is no cutlery, no forks, no spoons, no nothing, so you eat with your hands. Most of the people sleep in the afternoons. If there is space, you get a place to sleep. Otherwise, there is nothing much else to do. Supper arrives at 5 p.m. It's macaroni or soup. It's okay if you can mix it together, maybe sausages, vegetable curry and rice. Here, everything is spicy because it's British. Obviously, you feel it's spicy. After supper, there's nothing else to do. People just sit around and talk. There are some books, chessboard here and there. Both are heavily priced. You can occasionally get cards, and rummy is a usual game. Obviously, gambling is not officially allowed. If you get caught smoking in the toilet areas, only place with no cameras, then your privileges are withdrawn for a month, which is you don't get telephone calls, you don't get to buy from the canteen or anything. The only time you can officially smoke is between meal breaks, where you can go outside. There are 3 counts each and every day, and everyone over there has to be checked. You can sit on the floor in rows of 10 to be counted. This sometimes takes forever because half the staff cannot count properly. Okay. There are also search raids every month where all the amber gets turned upside down. I think in the rooms. They're looking for drugs, weapons, and phones. Usually they find that. Lights are usually out at 11 or 12. That doesn't mean anything. You sleep. If you can't get sleep, then you try to get sleep until you're tired. And it's back to, the morning. On Fridays, which is the visiting morning, I had 1 visitor in 13 months. You shout through each other through the glass. Everyone's screaming and are trying to outdo each other. And whichever one does, personally, I don't think it was worth it. Once you get used to the regiment, the out jail is not so bad, but it can be pretty frustrating. It is very cold and it's very boring. The police stations are different, but you always need to be on your toes. They're very violent and a filthy place to be. So this was the letter shared by one person who was actually put in prison. I've given the link down below. I've shared the experiences of some people who have been in jail. So let me know, what do you think? Yes, I have had some letters by people who have been to jail, but they requested for confidentiality. I'll just share with you one. That was my friend who was at a very senior level, a finance controller in Saudi. He said from the airport he was just picked up because someone had put a case on him, even though he didn't have anything officially got to do with it. But because he was working as a finance controller, they jailed him. They said they put him in a holding area in the airport. Immediately they took him, in a van. He was put in Sharjah. He said, Sharjah, they don't give a damn. They just put you in. And he was put in a holding area where he had to sleep on the floor. He said it was pretty nerve-wracking. I also have had letters in the past where I've spoken about people who have been there for a month to 3 months, even though there was no proof or evidence of them being guilty. So I'm sharing with you this second shocker of the UAE, which was shared to me by others and by this letter. Let me know, what are your thoughts? Do you think this is true? Do you think this is false? Do you know somebody who has actually been put in jail? I'd love to hear your thoughts. So, let me know what you think.